don't know. I think listening to Brandon Sanderson's lectures.
So you
where it's like at the beginning you need to set the tone so people want to.
So you think that Tolkien should listen to the lecture of Brandon Sanderson to know how to write his book? That is a very controversial point of view, Laura. Oh yeah, we are live. Hey guys, how are you guys doing today? I hope that you're having you had an awesome week. It's Sunday right here in New Zealand, and we take the time to spend about an hour with you guys, answering all your questions about traveling in New Zealand. But first, sandwich.
Let me guess. It's International Sandwich Day?
No, it's Ice Cream Sandwich Day. Ice cream sandwich.
Oh, right.
And this is my official retirement from comedy. Anyway, welcome, guys. Laura, who are we and why are we the best one to answer questions about traveling in New Zealand?
Well, this is Robin and I'm Laura, and we're the team behind NZPocketGuide.com, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide. And that's because it's packed with thousands and thousands of articles about traveling in New Zealand, whether you're just doing a camper van road trip around the country for a couple of weeks, or you're staying here on a full year doing a working holiday. We cover all that good stuff on NZPocketGuide.com. So make sure to go check it out if you have any questions about traveling in New Zealand. But if you're not really into reading, you do have questions about traveling in New Zealand, we also do this live Q&A session every single Sunday at 8 a.m. New Zealand time. And just so you know the times around the world, that's on a Saturday evening in the UK and France around, I think it's 9 and 10 p.m. nowadays. Also on a Saturday afternoon in the US, that is 4 p.m. EST and 1 p.m. PST, is that right? EST, PST, yeah. And then India, that's bright and early on a Sunday morning at 1:30 a.m. And in Australia, that is also pretty early on a Sunday morning at 6 a.m. But if you do miss one of our live Q&A sessions where we go through where we go through all your questions on the live Q&A chat, you guys can send your questions in on any of the videos of any of our YouTube videos and put them in the comment section. We also pull those together so we can answer those questions as well during the live Q&A session if we have time, because usually a lot of people are asking questions on the live Q&A.
All right, so as per usual, we're going to read everybody's comments in the live chat. So Anthony Comstock says, Morena from California, USA. How are you doing, Anthony? We have a surprise for you. I'm going to have an announcement, especially for Mr. Anthony Comstock coming soon. So stay around. Extreme Talota says, Morena, guys, how is it going in Tokura? So if you guys don't know what Morena means, it means kind of good morning in Maori, which is the local indigenous people here in New Zealand. Kirsty Wash says, hello, how are you doing, hello. Kirsty? How's everything hanging? I think you're from the UK, if I remember, from last time you popped up. Sarah Sunland says, hello, I'm Sarah from Mexico. Hello, Sarah, How are you doing? How is it going in Mexico? Adil Mula says, Morena, Robin, and Laura. Morena, Adil. And Sherry Ruthworth is saying, good morning. Now, if I remember correctly, Sherry is from Australia. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Welcome, guys. First up, let me just cross my ice cream sandwich joke from my list.
Off the to-do list.
So here you go. I've done my ice cream sandwich joke. That was that's done. Can't believe I write that thing down.
I did see your to-do list on this table last night, and I was trying to not look at it because I knew you'd probably have some surprises.
All right. So, guys, there's a couple of things this week. We're obviously going to answer all your questions. But first up, thank you very much. We have passed 18,000 subscribers, which is really awesome. We're super stoked to reach another milestone, and hopefully we get to 19,000 subscribers even faster. So that's thanks to you guys watching our videos, sharing it. Every time you guys click the like button, it's a free way to say thank you for all our hard work, so that YouTube knows that we're doing awesome, and so it shows it to more people, and it's all because of you. So 18,000 subscribers, we're super happy. And for that, we are going to be doing a giveaway today. So around the end of the video, so in about like 40 minutes or something like that, I'm just going to ask you a question. It's usually a question involving numbers. And the person that gets the closest numbers, we ship that present to you guys wherever you are in the world. So that's pretty awesome. So we'll do a giveaway in about 40 minutes. So stick around so you can you can get something for free, maybe from us. That'd be fun. And another thing, I know that a big talking point is when will the border of New Zealand open, so you guys can come and travel to New Zealand. We did release a video literally last night, so about like 10 hours ago, we released a video with our new prediction because, well, the first time we did our prediction, that was more than a month ago. And, things have changed along the way. And so we had to update that. So we did a full video for you guys. So I hope that's going to be super helpful. Clay Bryan says, good morning, guys. I hope all is well. It's doing pretty well here. If I remember, you in Dunedin, which, if you guys don't know, it's in the South Island. God, we know everybody, everybody's location. That's
We're
cool.
all friends
Tell us
here.
if we're wrong. If we get it wrong, you have to tell us. Oh, this is nonsense. I'm not from there. So how is it going in Dunedin? So if you guys don't know, Dunedin is a pretty awesome place. There is amazing wildlife over there. You can see yellow-eyed penguins. You can see little blue penguins. You can see amazing albatross. You can see seals. It's an amazing place. So if you guys are planning a trip to New Zealand, definitely make sure that Dunedin is on your itinerary. It's definitely kind of a wildlife mecca. You absolutely have to be there. Extreme Talota says everything is good. Just working on the video. How are you? What?
Someone's trying to call me.
Oh.
Do they not know we're on YouTube right now?
You working on video on what, man? Oh, yeah, that's true. He's going to send us. So, Extreme Talota, he's from Tokura, which is a place that probably almost every tourist drives through, but never stops into. So I asked him to send us a few video snippets, and maybe I can edit that together and do a bit of a video on Tokura to show people that it's an awesome place. And since he's a local from there, I wanted him to show us like his local Maori and stuff like that. You're a very popular lady.
Yeah, I think I'm going to switch my phone off.
Maybe we're gonna have a video for you guys about Tokura. MB1968 New Zealand. I think he's in Wellington. So here you go. Wellington is New Zealand's capital city, not the largest city in New Zealand. The largest city is Auckland. But I think you're from Wellington. Tell me again, guys, tell me if I'm wrong. I'm kind of like going nuts on my guesses right now, but I think I'm correct. It says, turn your COVID prediction into a competition. What kind of competition should we do? Like bingo? Like, we just, everybody picks a month and I just go like, oh, okay, that's going to March. And then we're going to go 2022, March 2022. That's for you guys in Mexico.
Yeah. Might as well be that, to be honest. Everything's so uncertain. We might as well just do a raffle.
Well, what we try to do, like really, when we give you the prediction, and I think we explained that during the video, is that we really try to like look a lot at the news and how the government has been behaving with other countries to therefore just apply that to how that country is doing and to kind of try to have obviously some sort of prediction. But it's obviously hard, and we make really sure, like when we just give you our opinion on this channel, we make really sure we tell you this is our opinion, this is not like actual news, because there is so much like fake news and basically nonsense on social media. We just want to make sure that we tell you this is what we've heard, therefore this is what we think. Again, that's just what we think. The only thing we've heard is that thing, and so that's what we do on the video. And I hope that you guys appreciate the fact that we try to be really straightforward with that, and we don't just pass our opinion as fact, which is happening way too much, we think, lately.
Yes.
What is Clay doing? Clay is going good down here, taking the kids to Lana Castle today. Kids go free at the moment, so it's great time for a look.
Yeah.
That's nice. So what's Lana Castle, Laura?
Yeah, Lana Castle is on the Otago Peninsula, which is an area really close to the city of Dunedin. It's the only castle in New Zealand, so it's a pretty special place. It's when you visit there, you can get two different passes. You can just visit the gardens there, and the gardens themselves are very pretty and very lovely. Or you can go and check out parts of the castle as well as the gardens as well. They also have a cafe there, which is pretty nice. They do high tea if you want to make a special occasion out of it. They also have accommodation there as well, so you can stay there in the stables.
That's a bit pricey, though.
Yeah, so you can go stay in the stables of Lana Castle if you want to stay overnight.
It's not, actually, it's not an actual stable.
Yeah.
Just saying, right? It has been refitted into actual accommodation. You're not going to be fed hay.
You won't be sharing it with the horses and the sheep, but yeah. So that's Lana Castle. It's a pretty cool place to go check out. It's got amazing views. Like, it's surrounded by a really picturesque place. So yeah, it's cool.
Nice. Saeed Teja say, any update about international students who are planning for 2021 February intake? Can we apply for visas if we have received the admission? So I don't think you're able to apply for visas just yet because Immigration New Zealand is really busy with other kind of work right now. But we actually had an announcement for the Minister of Education that made an announcement like last week about students in New Zealand, and we actually made a full video about that for you, Sai, and for everybody else, obviously. And that's coming out tomorrow morning. So we're just finishing the editing on that. We're just making sure that all the information is correct, and we will have about like 15 minutes of us explaining everything, the state of like studying in New Zealand, post COVID-19, and when will you be able to kind of come to New Zealand and study in New Zealand. There hasn't been any updates just yet on like what will you be able to come to New Zealand and actually come and study right now. Sorry, we're having some people showing up at the door right now. So there hasn't been any update on that, but we will have a video ready for you coming up really soon. Another comment from MB says that they have the largest heart. Yes, everybody is lovely. What is it? Is it some food? Oh,
it's breakfast from the neighbors.
So we're actually sharing a lot of food with the neighbors, and so we always exchange food. That's probably why your phone was ringing. Get some food. Okay, Extreme Tolota says, how often you come through Tokura? Well, every time we kind of go to Auckland, and every time we go up, so quite regularly.
Yeah, it's not super regularly at the moment, but
no, obviously at the moment not really, but on the normal kind of times, it's probably going to be like every couple of months, let's say, something like that. Yeah. And MB says we should open to students. I agree. I think students are very different type of tourists. So one of the things that I personally like, and why I think that there's going to be more students coming in, I mean, students are going to start coming in before tourists, or kind of on a greater number before tourists, is because students are coming to New Zealand for a longer amount of time. Tourists usually come in New Zealand, like the average stay is about 2 weeks, right? People are coming to New Zealand, they travel a little bit around. A lot of people are even coming just for 1 week. But at the moment we have quarantine, which means that you stayed in a managed isolation for 14 days in order to be monitored. And I'll go over what the quarantine entails in a minute. But doing 14 days quarantine, staying in a managed isolation in a hotel for traveling in New Zealand 1 week is kind of really nonsense, and no one's really going to want to do that. But if you come to study in New Zealand, you stay 4, 6, 12 months in New Zealand to do your studying. So at that point, just doing 2 weeks in quarantine, you can read a couple of books, you can prep for your exams and everything. It's fine. It's okay. Now, the quarantine is not something really scary. Like, a lot of people are getting really scared about what actually is quarantine / managed isolation. But it's actually okay. It's basically a hotel which has been overtaken by the government. Not overtaken like, but it has been
which has been selected by the government.
Exactly. The management has been overtaken by the government, and then they will put people in those facilities for 14 days. On day 3 of your stay, you will be given a swab test. So that's the stick that goes up your nose to check if you are coming up negative for COVID-19. And on day 12, you also be given another test. So that's a test on day 3, a test on day 12. In the meantime, you have to stay in a hotel. You have very restricted movements. You still get food and everything, but you're very, very restricted movements. And when all your tests are coming out negative, then on day 14, then you can leave. That's basically how that works. Now at the moment, because most of the people traveling back to New Zealand are all New Zealand citizens just coming back home, the New Zealand government is footing the bill for managed isolation. So that means that the New Zealand government is paying for that. But obviously that costs a lot of money, and the New Zealand government doesn't have that much money to spare. So for this reason, there is a lot of discussions at the moment, and that's all rumor. So none of that is actually fact just yet. It's just rumor. But there is a lot of discussion amongst the New Zealand government, which actually are trying to figure out how much and if people should be charged to pay for this isolation, because it's a big toll. And so the figure that has been floating around is around 3,100 New Zealand dollars, which will be like the cost of those 14 days isolation. So just so you guys are aware, this is basically what it is. Anyway, just all in all, students will probably come back to New Zealand. Don't panic. We just don't know when, but you'll see the video tomorrow. Extreme Talent say that education is an important part of me. Yes, MB is agreeing with me. Thank you very much for agreeing with me. All right, Shiri says, I haven't watched the new video yet, but I'm guessing it mentioned that travel bubble with Australia has been cancelled. I hope things get better so it gets considered again sooner rather than later. So it hasn't been cancelled. They never say the word cancelled. They just say it has been postponed. But yes, it definitely has been postponed, and we're probably going to be opening a border, and that's what we talk about during the video.
Yeah.
We probably will open a border to some countries of the realm, which is Cook Island and Niue, for example, before we're opening to Australia. So yeah, I know, Sherry, you've been looking so much forward to your trip to New Zealand, but it may have been delayed a little bit. But that's only the fault of Victoria. It was stayed so well. Michael Mariano say, aloha everyone. Hey, aloha. Michael, that's been a long time. How are you doing? How is everything going in Hawaii? Are you safe over there? Is everything okay? And yeah, look at that. We know where's everybody's from. Tell us where you're from, guys. If we don't know you just yet.
If you're new here, or you've only been maybe once or twice before on the live chat. So let us know where you're from.
So I know Sarah, for example, she just said she was from Mexico when she said hi. I love that. I love when you guys tell us where you're from. Louise Erasmus say, what is your prediction for South Africa? So I guess she's from South Africa. I love it. What is your prediction for South Africa? We were hoping to be there before the next school year begins. SMC residence visa. So there has been absolutely no chatter about South Africa, and actually no African country. There's been no chatters about that just yet. So it's really going to depend about like, first, how well you're doing, but also how well the border opening will go with other countries which are considered first. I think that one of the main things that we didn't mention it in the video, but we'll probably mention it in the follow-up when we're going to do, like, every month kind of like that, we do a prediction video. I think one of the major factors is going to be, if we open the border, let's say to Australia, it has been postponed, but let's say we open the borders to Australia, right? And then everything goes well and we don't have any extra cases and everything like that, then, it's more likely that other countries are going to be opened like a little bit faster. But if we open the borders with Australia and things go south and there is some extra cases and everything like that, then that's going to postpone everyone. And I think that South Africa, sadly, and I'm not saying that because I want to say that, right? Obviously, you won't be wrong, but I think South Africa is kind of at the bottom of the list just because South Africa doesn't send a lot of tourists also to New Zealand. And New Zealand is going to be looking forward to opening more their country to like where the bigger influx of money are coming from to restart the tourism economy. So I don't think that South Africa is on top of the list. So I think it's going to be more of a case of like, if it goes well with everybody else, then other countries are going to be able to bundle together and get in. So that's just obviously my take on it. It's all purely an opinion, absolutely 100% opinion. It's not a fact. But yeah, that would be my answer to you, Louise. Hopefully we're wrong, though. Hopefully you get to travel to New Zealand next week. I personally want that, right? But it's just and also, guys, you have to keep in mind that on September, we are, I think it's the 12th.
The 12th, yeah.
On September the 12th, we have a general election here in New Zealand. So we're getting a new prime minister. Oh, we're keeping the old one. She's not that old, but we're keeping the existing one. The current, that's the one. Sorry, Jacinda, I apologize. Anyway, so either we're keeping the existing prime minister or we're getting a different leadership in charge. If we get a different leadership in charge, we may completely drastically change course, and they may just decide to reopen the border to everybody, right? It's obviously a big political kind of issue right now in New Zealand, so there is that to take in consideration as well. Eloise Nowakowski, she says, Eloise, that's a very French name. I want to go to New Zealand for 11 months with EF addiction for perfection my English and live with the Kiwi. And it's a good idea, ? It's my project for 2022 and I'm French. I knew you were French. Bonjour. It's a great thing to do. Honestly, it's really awesome to come and travel in New Zealand. I don't know very much what is EF addiction, to be honest, but one avenue that you can be taking is a working holiday visa. We have a lot of videos on this channel and also on NZPocketGuide.com, which is our travel guide to New Zealand. It's all free to use. So you can go to www.nzpocketguide.com. There is a link in the description. And on there, we have a lot of videos about the work holiday visa. I think that's going to be kind of one of the best approach to do that. If you are coming with a working holiday visa in New Zealand, you can start maybe by doing a couple of weeks of English courses just to kind of acclimate yourself a little bit, and then you can get off and travel a little bit around New Zealand. Once you finish traveling maybe for an extra couple of weeks or maybe 3 weeks, you can settle somewhere and do a little bit of work. If you're not that confident with your English, maybe you can do a bit of manual labor like fruit picking and everything. You're going to be with a bunch of travelers, from so many different countries. Everybody's going to have to speak English. You're going to make a lot of friends. You're also going to make a little bit of money because you got to pay for your life in New Zealand as well. And once you've done that, you're going to be a little bit more confident. You can maybe move to another city or to another town in New Zealand, get another kind of job, travel around a little bit more and kind of like figure that out. Taking working holiday visa in New Zealand is a fantastic, that's how we both arrived in New Zealand. Yeah. It's a fantastic way to travel. It's a fantastic way to improve your English. I mean, I'm from France, right? And my English was absolutely terrible when I left French school because French are not really famous for being good at languages. But as soon as you travel a little bit more, and you get to practice it, and you will see that your level of English is going to improve way, way more. The one tip I'm going to give you, though, Eloise, I usually see French people sticking together with other French people. Please don't do that because you're going to end up speaking French, and you're just going to be speaking French in a different country. That's not going to help you whatsoever. Yeah. So make sure that you put yourself in that bit more scary position, which is being with people that don't speak your language. I can remember I used to kind of stay away from any French people or French-speaking people or French groups usually when I could, when I was traveling around.
Social distancing.
Yeah, social distance your own people. No, it's just because that forces you to practice that, you don't necessarily need another French friend. You have plenty back at home. So you may want to get a German French friend, a Kiwi friend, and all that. Not just my opinion, obviously. You do you. If you want to come here with a bunch with 10 French people and stay there. And so that's why I don't have any opinion with EF Addiction, because if it's like an organization that will put you with a bunch of other French people, that's nonsense. Being French somewhere else is I just find it a little bit like just the idea of it's a bit ridiculous in my opinion. Okay, moving on. MB says Hawaii has a grip on COVID. I do not know about that. We'll take your word for it, MB. Sarah Sunland says Mexico is getting better. It is always been a dream of mine to go to New Zealand. Nice. So are you planning a trip to New Zealand? Are you currently in the stage of like kind of making an itinerary and everything? And when things quiet down, are you coming, or are you just still in the dream stage right now? Sherry says, haha, yes, I'm not happy with Victoria. So the state of Victoria, if you guys don't know, is in Australia and has had a lot of like a surge of cases of COVID-19 at the moment. And that's basically the main reason why the opening of the border between New Zealand and Australia has been delayed. I like to give context. Yes. She says they haven't been clear with things in the news. It was only vaguely mentioned last week. Okay, so Gabriela says, Gabriela Alanis Cortinez says, I'm going to apply for a working holiday visa from Chile, and it will be in October. Do you think that will be a problem with it? I don't necessarily think there will be a problem with applying for the working holiday visa. I think it's going to be more of a case of like, when will you be able to get into New Zealand? So you will have to look at your visa and see, is Chile 12 months or 6 months?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it might be 12.
Yeah, I think, there's 42 different countries, so it's hard to keep them all here. But if Chile has a working holiday visa for 12 months, that means that you will have the right to enter the country of New Zealand within 12 months of being your visa granted. So you kind of bet that you'll be able to enter New Zealand by October 2021 if you get it granted in October 2020. And then once you enter the country, within those 12 months, then the day you enter the country, then that will activate it for another 12 months. So at that point, you'll have plenty of time. So that's basically how a working holiday visa works. Now, you also have to check on the Immigration New Zealand website that the opening for the visas are still going to happen in October. Sometimes I know they have canceled a couple of them lately, so just be aware of that. But otherwise, that's a great thing to do. I will apply because I think that obviously it's a bet, right? And you won't get your money back if you can't get to New Zealand. So you have to know that. It's only a couple of $100.
Also, the other risk of applying when it's obviously uncertain whether you can actually come to New Zealand because the borders are closed and because no one knows when they're going to open. The other risk of applying for a working holiday visa soon is that you can only be granted a working holiday visa once in your life. So you only get one shot to do that. You can't apply for a working holiday visa again. If you basically, if you can't come to New Zealand, then you basically, as the sort of regulations are at the moment, you can only apply for the working holiday visa once. That might change because of this whole craziness that's happened, but that's the other risk that you're taking as well.
So I agree. There's two risks, but then you have to bet, will I be able to enter New Zealand within 12 months after that? And my opinion is yes, but again, it's just the opinion of one guy on his couch with a yellow pillow. You know? It's just.
Can you trust a guy on a couch with a yellow pillow?
Exactly, like can you? But you know, I mean, it's just educated guess, so it's hard to tell. But I personally, I will take the risk and I will apply if I were you. Obviously, it's up to you, Gabriela. We'd love to have you on board. You know, we'd love to have you coming to travel in New Zealand. And something, we have more information on how to apply. If you want to prepare, if you are about to apply for a working holiday visa and you want to prepare, on nzpocketguide.com, we actually have like a full like screenshot of what the whole application is and everything, so you can have all the documents ready and apply like as fast as possible. Because the thing is, with those kind of visas, since they have a limitation on the amount of people that can apply, they usually go really quickly. So you want to be able to go fast. So quick reminder, we're going to be doing a giveaway in about 15 minutes to thank you guys for having 18,000 subscribers. And by the way, if you do find all our answer useful and everything, if you guys click the like button, it's a great way to tell YouTube that the video is useful, and it's a free way for you guys to say thank you for all our hard work. So it's always cool if you guys can do that. Thank you for clicking that button if you can. Oh, someone just clicked. Oh, thank you, person that just clicked. That's nice. Where were we? Extreme Talota says, have a good one. I'm going to do some more videos. Nice.
Cool.
Guys, look forward to Extreme Talota's video of Tokura. We'll post that here on this channel at some point. Speaking of that, before I go through the rest of the comments, as usual, we'll read everything, so don't panic. I just want to talk to Anthony Comstock. He came to us about a month and a half ago, and he told us that he was usually doing some exercise on his treadmill and everything. And he was wondering if we had some videos of like just us hiking in New Zealand, just a hike and what it was. And so I thought the idea was interesting because it's a video that I will personally, as a person, find very boring. So therefore, I was like, okay, if it, just forward, like just hiking like that, I personally would find that really boring. But if there is an interest for it, we'll do that. So we actually did a video for you, Anthony. We have a 35-minute long video where we take you on a beautiful hike. There is like volcano covered of snow. There is waterfall. There is New Zealand a rainforest. There is volcanic landscape. There is little streams and rivers. There is really a lot there, and that's coming out on a Saturday for us, so about Friday for you. So we'll have a long video. So if you guys want to, you guys are stuck at home, you want to hike in New Zealand, this is literally that. It's us with the camera just facing forward, so you can just put the screen as close as you can from your face.
Yeah,
and just
you can do some
feel like you're hiking in New Zealand. So I hope that you're going to like it. And so, that's just to show you guys that what you guys are asking us or telling us, we usually take it quite seriously.
Yeah.
If it's doable, we do it for you guys.
Yeah.
If you want to know which hike that is, you can check out our social media. We posted some photos of where we were, if you want a bit of a teaser, but it's coming out for you. So I hope that you like it. Anthony, all the way from California. And if you do like it, please just share it and tell us you like it. Like, share, likes, do all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So we know
Make
that
sure you subscribe as well and turn on your notifications so that you know when the video is coming out. You'll get the notification straight away so you can watch it as soon as it comes out.
Yeah. All right, so we go back to the comments. So MB 1968 says, I find tourists are more adventurous with pronouncing Maori words, more so than Pakeha New Zealanders. So Pakeha are white New Zealanders and Maori are indigenous New Zealanders, just to give you a bit of context. And yes, that's the thing. I personally feel like I don't think it's too offensive if I genuinely just try to pronounce a word. It's kind of like, okay, I'll try to pronounce the word. I'm saying it very wrong. If anything, someone's going to mock me and giggle at me being, like try to do that. But I don't think it's too offensive. But I found a lot of, Pakeha, so New Zealander friends kind of just trying to stay away from Maori words and be like, it's a bit too kind of dangerous and stuff like that to say. Like, for example, we did a whole video about Matariki to explain to foreigners what would be Matariki, since it's such a big, in short, it's kind of like the Maori New Year, to explain what is Matariki. And we had some comment that said that we should have Maori people to actually be on the video to do that. But first, we just didn't, and it's hard to get people to want to come on video. A lot of people are shy and everything. So we just kind of try it. I think it's fine. Yeah. And if we offend anyone, we're always the first one to apologize. Gus Roberts says, "Hi guys, flight from Europe to New Zealand. Any ideas? Cheers." We just released the video literally about 10 hours ago with our prediction on when would the flight open between New Zealand and the rest of the world. So you may want to check this one out, but that's not going to be until next year, in our opinion. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a delay. Sorry about that. Hopefully you guys get to travel soon. 23 likes, you guys are awesome. 25 people watching, 23 likes. Wow, can we match those two numbers? That'd be epic. Louise says, "Thank you for answering my question." You're very welcome. You pronounce my African surname perfectly. Well, I got lucky. I can guarantee it's pure luck because my African is terrible. Greg Cherry says, "Hi guys, I'm from Canada and New Zealand just cancelled my flight to Auckland in September. They offered a 1-year credit for future travel. Do you think New Zealand will be open for international visitors even in 2021? I think so. It's obviously just our opinion, but I think yes, it will be. If you want to watch the video of our prediction, it's literally the last video posted on the channel, and we go through everything. And actually, we didn't mention Canada, by name. But I do think that this may be about the same time than the UK because we're all part of the Commonwealth, and so we have different,
different ties and relationships,
specific agreement. We kind of really like each other, So yeah, but I think yes, and we are in the same boat. To be quite honest with you, Greg, we did have some international flight booked with Air New Zealand, and we too, got everything cancelled, and we got our credit, and then we're like, well, tough bananas. What are we doing with our credits? So, it's not like we just want to fly all around New Zealand. We can definitely just drive and stop along the way and do video for you guys. So we don't really fly that much around New Zealand. So we do hope that this will be resolved quickly. And hopefully we actually think that, by mid next year, I think everybody will be able to travel around New Zealand. So we come to New Zealand. There may be some extra restrictions and everything like that, but I think that probably will be the case. But again, just our opinion. This is not fact, and don't do a CNN brand news, whatever, right? Yamin Senda say, "Hello, thanks for the live. It is very important for me. I have a question for you. I'm a stranger student from France. How can I go to New Zealand to continue my study in engineer?" Well, you can get a student visa, so you can contact Immigration New Zealand and try to apply for a student visa. And then when you get your student visa and travel is allowed from France right now where you are to New Zealand, then you'll be able to come. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and you might also be interested in the video we're going to release tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning. Yes, so 6:30 a.m. New Zealand time.
Yeah, so we are going to be releasing a video tomorrow about our predictions for when the student visas, when students will be able to come to New Zealand. Again, it's one of our prediction videos, so it's not official information, but it might give you a little bit of an idea of when the borders will be open for students.
25 viewers. You guys are awesome.
Oh, nice.
I like matching numbers. Don't like anymore. If you get 26 likes and 25 viewers, I'd be upset. So stop liking. We're stopping at 25. We're happy with it. OCD to the max. All right.
It's a 26
person that just arrived. Either you click like button, either you leave. But we need two numbers. We need the like and the views to match. Anyway, welcome, by the way, person that just arrived. All right, where are we? So MB 1968 responds to you, Greg, as well about if the borders are going to be opening with Canada, and he said it depends on how your country managed COVID-19, and that's very true. And if you watch the video that we did about that, Greg, we really are focused on that in New Zealand. So it's like if your country has things under control, then it's likely to have the New Zealand border open earlier than not. So you've got to be aware of that. Oh, now someone like it, 26, but now we have 28 viewers. Oh, I'm never going to win. We're never going to match those two numbers.
It's never going to happen again.
Welcome to new people watching the video. We're glad to have you on board. If you want to click the like button, we try to have the same amount of viewers and likes.
Oh, it's back to the same now.
Good, 26. I'm happy. God, this is not going to be
We don't
fun.
need to mention it every time.
All right, we'll stop
Move
that.
on from that.
Michael Marino says, my son missed riding on the camper van. You know what? Kids love riding in camper vans.
Yeah.
We actually have some friends which just have kids. It's about a year and a half now, I think. Yeah.
Something like that.
And he loves the camper van. When they go on camper van trips, they actually borrow camper van from everybody around. And yeah, he loves that. They always tell us he loves the camper van. It's like kind of tiny. There's a lot. It's so new. Kids love camper van traveling. I think it's just the issue of traveling in the camper van with kids is usually come from the parents, because you have to deal with the kids in such a close quarters environment.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit more stressful. It's already stressful, to deal with kids, but dealing with kids in a close quarter is really hard. But kids love camper van.
It's like a den on wheels.
Yeah, wow, that's a good way. Zubair Gaming says, hi. Hey, Zubair, how are you doing? Greg responds to UMB in 1968. He says, I fell in love with New Zealand last November and December when visiting my daughter in Christchurch. She graduated Teachers College and is teaching in Wellington. I'm very eager to return and visit. Oh, that's awesome. Are you going to go to Wellington this time, or are you going to keep on traveling around the South Island? There's a lot to explore in the North Island as well. Yamin Sanda says, thanks. You're very welcome, Yamin. MB1968 says, congrats, Greg. You must be proud of her. Yeah, that's awesome. Good on your daughter. Wow World says, does New Zealand close his border for outsiders? Yes, so at the moment, the borders are crazy, right? I'm just going to do it really short. Our New Zealanders returning are working in health and other really essential kind of workers.
Yeah.
So if you really need those people right now to solve a New Zealand problem, then you can get in. Otherwise, it's just New Zealanders coming back home. So that's the only two kind of people that can come into New Zealand. And so as a result of that, we really have a small amount of cases. So when you come to New Zealand, you have to stay in managed isolation for 14 days. Sorry about that. Managed isolation for 14 days. So, it has to be worth it for you to come to New Zealand, because you have to stay 2 weeks in a managed hotel. MB says he's in Wellington. So yeah, awesome. Look at that. I was right. Jav's Rain. I'm sorry, I just destroyed your username, but I hope that was okay. He says, hi guys, can I apply for a partner visa this time of pandemic? My partner is a New Zealand citizen. Thanks. You have to contact Immigration New Zealand. They're slowly reopening which kind of visa you can apply for. I think that on this very day right now, I don't think you can. But
I think it's only if you're in New Zealand yourself, you can. But if you're overseas, I don't think you can at the moment. But again, it's best to go onto the Immigration New Zealand website to see, because they've done a lot of updates, especially for the resident visas. They've done a lot of updates of how they're processing those. But otherwise, you can call them as well. And it's usually best to call them so you can actually get your personal questions answered.
So yeah, so you contact them and you get an answer. In about 3 minutes, guys, we're going to do a giveaway. So get your brain sharpens, and you're going to have to answer a question. And if you get it right, you get a prize. Okay, so Clay says, if you had to choose one, which will you go to, Kaikoura or Akara? Going to Christchurch for a weekend in a couple of weeks, and we will have most of the Saturday to kill.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
And he also has kids. So remember.
Yeah.
So okay, I will pick Kaikoura just because in Kaikoura there is my all-time favorite activity to do in New Zealand, which is seal swimming. So you go swim with seal. So it's called Seal Swim Kaikoura, and it's after doing New Zealand's biggest gap year, in which we done 365 activities in 365 days all around New Zealand, to pick my favorite activity, and I picked seal swimming in Kaikoura. I think it's a fantastic thing to do. I don't really know how old are your kids, Clay, but I think that is it's almost every kind of age will really like it. They give you buoyancy device and everything, and you can be in the water with them.
Yeah, if you're not a strong swimmer, they give you sort of flotation devices, aids and stuff. But also you're in quite a sheltered area when you do the swimming, which is very different to doing dolphin swimming, for instance, where they put you sort of in a bit of the open water. It can be choppy, but where they do the seal swimming is nice and sheltered. It's a much sort of nicer sort of swimming experience, and usually a better option for children.
So if you ask me on the personal level, I think that I will definitely go to Kaikoura because I love that activity. It's absolutely phenomenal. The seals in the water are so interactive. I just loved it so much. Now, if you're after sceneries, maybe Akaroa will be a good option.
Yeah, so Akaroa, I think a really good activity you can do with kids is go to Pohatu Penguins, which is a little blue penguin colony. It's the largest little blue penguin colony in New Zealand. And they do evening tours where you can see the penguins coming back into their nests on the evening. And yeah, that's a really good one for kids. We've been on this tour a couple of times, actually, when we were in Akaroa, and we've got videos on the channel of us doing it. And there were other families there at the beginning of the tour. When you arrive, all the sheep come to you and you get to feed all the sheep, because it's also it's a kind of on a
penguin tour, but there is some sheep.
Yeah, there's a lot of animals and a lot of different things happening. Usually they have penguin chicks that they're feeding as well, and you actually get to see them feeding the chicks and getting them strong to be released into the wild, for instance. So that's a really good wildlife encounter without having to get into the water and get wet.
And if you don't want to spend some money in Akaroa, there's some great way to see some really epic sceneries, which are not too long. It's great with kids. And for example, the Rhino Walk.
Yes. So
how long is that?
I think that walk is maybe about an hour at the most.
Yeah, so it'll be 30 minutes return.
Yes, yeah.
I really at the most.
Yeah, so this is a really cool walk. Taking you basically gently up a hill. You get to see the scenery of the Akaroa Harbour. But on the way, there's some interesting surprises to be found that are also animal related. So you can either watch the video on our channel if you want to check out what we're talking about, or you can leave it as a surprise, which would be really cool.
But the name of the hike is Rhino Walk, so
Walk,
that may give you a bit of an idea. But we do have a video on the channel about that. So I think you and the kids will also really do like that as well. And the drive toward Akaroa is really scenic as well. So if you're after some really epic scenery, I think I prefer the drive toward Akaroa than the drive toward Kaikoura. If I have to choose one or the other, if I have to pick the drive as well as part of the experience, I think I would pick that.
Yeah, and also in Akaroa, there's also a ton of wildlife cruises, sailing cruises. There's dolphin swimming in there, but that's probably not as great to do with kids, actually. Probably the seal swimming in Kaikoura would be better. So there's a ton of different things you can do in Akaroa as well. So yeah, but yeah, it's a hard one to choose, but hopefully that information makes it easier for you guys.
Cool. All right, so before I keep on reading all the comments, so I'm going to answer every single question as usual, but beforehand, we're going to give you something to do. So you guys are going to have about 10 minutes, and you're gonna get to answer a question to win an All Blacks mug. So it's an awesome mug signed. I don't think it's actually has been signed by hand, but with a replica signature of some of the most famous All Blacks on it. So it's pretty cool. So there's an All Blacks mug up for grab right here. We will send that to you wherever you are in the world.